an easy one against San Jose?
No, they're a good team. You're never gonna, you're not gonna beat the San Jose Sharks by a lot. Most nights they'll find a way to stay in there and do the things that they need to. Tonight I thought for the most part they came out really well. San Jose, they had us on our heels a little bit, and then we sort of got our legs under us. And second half of that period, the first period, I thought we sort of took over a little bit. I thought we had a good second period. We didn't have as many shots, but we had some good quality chances, and we converted on the chances. And then I thought they got a real big goal at the end of the first. That was huge for them. And then in the third period, they made put the Thornton, Marlowe, Heatley line together, and they kept coming out every second shift. So the leg one's line had to play primarily against that line tonight, and they were really good. But they played a lot of tough minutes against a real good line, especially in the third.
As much as a struggle it's been to score goals at times this year, to get a couple periods in a row, kind of a nice change.
Yeah, well, I thought there was a couple. We got a lot of quality chances. I mean, we used our speed in the first. We had a lot of chances. We had some 2-on-1s. Hornquist had a breakaway. We had a lot of chances. And then obviously we converted on a few of them. Power play gave us 2 goals, and that was real big for us. And you just play real hard, and they got a goal late in the game there. And then it's to me it was really unacceptable for be the home ice team at home, and we're giving free timeouts to arguably the best 5 players in the league for any team when they're put together, and that happens fairly regular here, and it happened twice. Even with 3 seconds to go, I think the referees were embarrassed, and they just said there's 3 seconds left. I mean, we should have home ice advantage. That gave them a free timeout for about 3 minutes, and that's 5 guys that can do damage on any given night. So we have to get it corrected with our offense officials, but that's absolutely unacceptable for a home team. That can happen if we're on. That should be the other way around if we're losing. So that has to get corrected.
Back on the power play goals, do you think the guys are reacting more than thinking as they maybe were earlier in the year?
Well, I think they're starting to feel comfortable with what they can do and what they're capable of doing, and there's a lot more movement and those type of things, and it's hopefully it's clicking. I think on the especially on the 5-on-3, I think we make good decisions on that, and then when we get traffic and shoot pucks, they go in there.
And against their penalty kill though too, that kind of a bonus tonight.
Absolutely, it was a bonus when you look at the 2 things. Their special teams, their penalty killing is #1 in the league and at a very high rate, and their road power play is #1 in the league, around almost 33%. So those 2 things were big factors for us.
You obviously rely on the leg one line for defensive roles, but obviously tonight they've made an impact on the offensive side. Is it more of a picking your spots for that line?
No, well, I think we look at each team and we say what would be the best matchup, and we have the other night against Montreal we had a little bit of a multiple group that would play against their top lines, and tonight we just went with primary group and they stayed with it and they played really well. So yeah, we pick and choose a little bit depending on the opponent. And sometimes we match more the D versus the forwards, and sometimes we try to match the defense and the forwards as a group. So Suter, Weber, and leg one's line played against the Marlowe, Thornton, Heatley line, and they had Boyle on the back end. So it was sort of power against power, and that's what San Jose does. They don't really concern themselves about checking anybody. They say we got more power than you, and we're going to go head to head.
You haven't allowed a power play goal in 4 straight games, and you've won 3 of them. You kind of worked out some of the problems you had earlier in the season with that.
Well, I think when I say if it's worked out, I think every game's a new process. But I think we're as the season's gone on, we're more comfortable with what we're capable of doing, and guys are getting it. We've got to probably extend it a little bit more in terms of number of guys that we use there. But I think sort of one guy at a time. We don't take a lot of penalties, which is really good right now. I think we're the least penalized team in the league, and we've been consciously doing that because we feel that we can play 4 lines. We've been consciously doing it because our power play wasn't really hitting at a high rate. But now that it's hit a couple games in a row, that really gives us a tremendous advantage. Being disciplined and not taking a lot of penalties, and we're skating. And when we're skating, we can be a pretty good hockey team.
First period, you had a lot of balance. You had 14 shots, 14 different players. Is that something fairly unusual?
Well, it probably is a little bit unusual that you'd have 14 different guys have a shot on net, but at the same time, we were playing. If you look at the first period, we were playing everybody pretty evenly. Both groups were, their team and our team are both playing sort of 4 lines in the first period, and it was more opportunity for everybody to get a chance at it. Everybody from the first to the fourth line.
Have you received an explanation on what happened to Claude?
No, I don't think I'm in a good mood to hear any of their explanations. They just got to get it right, because if we'd have they scored another goal, I'm sure I'd be out the door and into the officials' room, or the off-ice officials. It wasn't the officials' room, but it's uncalled for. That happened twice, and then the 3 seconds to go, they're going to check the clock again. Are you kidding me? That can't happen at home.
If that happens on the road, are you thinking conspiracy?
Yeah, absolutely. That's home ice advantage. They made a home ice disadvantage today, and that it's got to be right. And they had their top guys exhausted. I had a fresh group of players ready to go, and they allowed them to have their top guys on the ice with 50 seconds to go. Probably the most dangerous 5 guys you could put on the ice, and they're going to pull their goalie. 1 goal game, and it can't happen.
This morning you said that your keys to the game were A, to pressure them, and B, to get on them early. Were you happy with the jump that they had?
Early I wasn't, to be honest with you. They sort of jumped on us, and probably about the first 6 minutes we were sort of on our heels a little bit, and then we sort of got our legs under us, and then we skated much better. And I thought we skated from about the first, after the 6 minute mark. I thought we really skated well through the rest of the period and into the second period, and then third period we got a little bit on our heels a bit, and that's because they had the big line was really pushing, but for the most part they were okay. I mean, not quite where I wanted it to be. It wasn't like how we jumped out of Montreal, but we're able to, against good teams, there's an opponent out there, and they make you do things you don't want to do, and they came and forechecked and did their thing. That's their game. I mean, they want to forecheck you, they want to get the puck, they want to throw it, they want to hang on to it and just press you all the time. And we were able to weather the storm, and then we were able to get our feet and go the other way a little bit on them, and that paid dividends for us.
Thanks.